when you have no budget to get a photographer or a videographer, you got to do it yourself. Easy session, 1 hour, feeling good after that. I left it late today. I really didn't want to train by the time I'd actually got round to getting stuff done. You always feel better after you work out, right? I think. I don't know if you've actually seen the Swagon. I haven't really shared it on social media, the inside, so come on in. It's a bit of a mess, but people always ask, is it kitted out? I'll let you be the judge of that. Like I say, it's a mess, but we've got the fridge, we've got a grill, loads of storage, the bed pulls out into a full-on double bed, the roof pops up, room for another 2 at the top. So yeah, so it's exactly 40 days until the Smileathlon kicks off. What do I feel when I think 40 days to go? I think there's an element of fear, 100% there's an element of fear that I do feel, because how do you know whether you're ready to embark on a challenge such as this? One that, even with all the training in the world, which, you know, I'm really chuffed with how the training has gone. There's been a few niggles here and there over the last couple of weeks, maybe a little soreness in the calf, bit of tenderness on the foot, but all in all, I've been able to keep a level of awareness with regards to that and monitor it, and everything tends to sort itself out. But there's no denying that, yeah, fear. I'm nervous. If I think about things for too long, such as, you know, the magnitude of what I'm trying to achieve, it engulfs me. But that's where I try my hardest. I try my hardest to be mindful and to recognise that, you know, I need to just focus on the remaining 40 days, show up each day, do the workouts, and ultimately the only goal with each workout now is to complete them safely. I think most of the hard work's, I hate saying that because next week is actually peak week, where I'll be doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday about 6.5 hours of exercise each day for those days across the cycling, swimming and running. But yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is bloody hell when I think in 40 days I will be taking to this challenge. I think it's natural to feel that, and that's largely been a reason why I haven't really done many of these videos lately, and I'm disappointed to an extent, but I also had to look after my own mental health and my own you know, stress levels and things. Now there's an analogy that I learnt, or that I was taught, of the way of dealing with stress and seeing stressors as the water that comes out of the tap. How we deal with them is kind of the plug hole and the drainage system. And I found that through doing these videos and trying to make something of value to the viewer, I was taking away what was most important to me, and that was just focusing on the training. You know, I was thinking, does this look good? Does that look good? Oh, how can I angle the camera? And I'm not a videographer, but I found that it was really the water. So we'll go back to that. The stressors, I was finding it hard to drain those, to make myself just comfortable with what I was doing. So that's why I haven't really done the videos. And I think it's important. I had a really nice coffee earlier with a friend, had a really good conversation, and I think it's important that any achievement, I guess we just acknowledge that there's going to be challenges throughout the journey. It's not going to be plain sailing. You know, like I've spoken about, I've had a few niggles here and there. There's been days where I haven't wanted to train. It's just human nature. But by dwelling on those, by focusing on those, by talking about them too much, I think we can tinge our own mindsets. I want to just give an example. I did a 10-day silent retreat of Vipassana meditation in October, or maybe it was September, and every single morning the gong would chime and we'd be up at 4 AM. This was 10 days of complete silence. We couldn't talk at all, and every single morning during the 10 days I would wake up and I would be freezing cold. I would be freezing cold. It was cold, really cold, but because I couldn't talk or I couldn't vocalize it, I didn't give it any strength. And I remember on the 11th morning, when the noble silence had been lifted, but we still had to be up at 4 AM the following morning, my roommate, who I was rooming with, obviously James, was obviously in the room, and again the gong went bong bong bong, and I woke and I was freezing yet again. But this time, because the noble silence had been lifted, I said to my roommate, "I'm effing freezing," or whatever. And I noticed that with that, the chill stayed with me. My coldness, my sense of chill stayed with me a lot longer than when on the previous 10 days where I hadn't actually vocalized it. It was a thought, it was a feeling, yes, but I didn't give it the strength to identify with. And I guess that's a large part as to why I haven't been, you know, talking too much about my thoughts, about my feelings, about my negative headspace when it is negative, because I do have negative thoughts, I have negative feelings, I have happiness, sadness, all of those things, but I choose not to give them more time than they possibly require, and I overcome, you know, tinges of sadness, or I process all my emotions and my feelings in my own way. And yes, I appreciate we all want to know that the person in front of us on this video or whatever is human, and I can just hold my hands up and say that every single week I've had 2 or 3 days where perhaps I haven't wanted to train, or I felt lousy, or I, you know, just haven't been in the headspace where I wanted to carry out what I was doing, but I did it anyway. And I think that's the most important thing. I think emotion, we need to recognize that we're all going to have all our different emotions, because that's what makes us human. But the one thing that we can do is action prior, or action, positive actions that can at least shape our moods and better help us navigate this thing we call life. Yeah, so that's about it. I mean, this week is a chill week. It's quite a lot of running, but besides from the running, it's only like 1-2.5 hour bike ride. I don't even know if there's a swim this week before next week's peak week, and that's about it. I don't really know what else to say, and just I'll keep posting away, and hopefully from this video you'll just know that, you know, with any of your pursuits as well, like, they don't have to be of a sporting nature. You have to overcome things, you have to work hard at them, and you have to sometimes do things that you don't want to do in order to attain things further down the line. So that's about it. Thank you for the support. If you have any questions, now I'm going to try and be more consistent with these. I say that, I probably won't be consistent with these videos, but it would be easier if I had topics or some kind of direction to go with it. So if you have any questions, if you want to know anything, I'd love to help. Okay, cool. Peace out. Speak to you soon. Cheers.